What's going on, everybody? It's Lion Dutchman here, and today we have a little bit different video. Still cars, but you'll see. So, I got a package from lucacarmots.com. But as you can see, we get Haribo. Now these are the suspension lift kit for the Volvo. So this is gonna be, I think, inside for the shock. Yes. So let me just take this all out of the box and then show you guys what we have here is Lizzie, our helping cat. But we have here a lift kit for the Volvo 740. How it basically works: you take your front shocks, which have separate shocks in them, you take them out, you flex through your front strut, and this goes in between. This is what it's raising on the suspension side. Then you drop in these. These will give you the extra height that you need for the shocks, because otherwise the shocks will be too short and they will be operating at a different place as original does. So this is kind of for compensating the length that you add here. Then we have two blocks. I don't know which is which yet. One is for the suspension and one is for the shock absorber, because that is separate on the rear, and then some bolts to install them. So what you need with these are just a set of original suspension legs, struts for the front. These you just can bolt in, basically just drop the rear end a little bit and switch them out, but those you need to weld it. I've got two front struts which I'm now gonna get on cracking with and just, you know, get every nasty shit off. Maybe even get some clamps so I can compress the springs, take the top heads off, take the shocks off, so it's just a bare hollow tube, so I can cut and weld these. As you see in the previous video, Thomas has a welder, so he'd probably be the one that wants to help me with this. Also, he loves lifted cars. He almost did it with his Civic, was a plan. I think it's a little bit too much of a hassle. If you look how simple this set is for a car like this, and it should be way easier to do, or even like a self-made way of doing it by making these. Anyways, so yeah, I have a lowered car already, which is the BMW, the drift car. This is something different, and I've seen pictures of it, like raised suspension and then with big ass tires on there, and I really love it. It will still be a good vehicle for towing. If it's slant, it's not, but it will still be a good vehicle for towing. Also, sometimes we put the mattress in the back because it's big enough for me to sleep in, and we go camping, so what better to have a lifted car that you can really go out and explore and go places. So I was like, yeah, I have a lowered car, now I want a lifted car, and I think it will suit the Volvo very good. I've never done this before, but I'm just doing what I love, and then I'll take you guys along for the journey, and hope you enjoy it as well. So let's get cracking. So here we are with the shock tower, whatever it's called. This is all ready and set up. This is where the brake caliper goes, and you can just slip the rotor on. So that's all set. Now I need to get these off, the springs, because if the spring is off, then there's a little thing you can twist off, a sort of cap. When you take that off, you can pull the whole shock out. I have new shocks to put back in, and like I tell you guys, these things haven't looked up any like how-to video further than just this video that I've seen. But looking at this will be cut. this will be placed between it, and I think this will be lowered inside of it, because otherwise your shock will be too short. So this is what kind of raises the shock up. And then that's all for the front basically. And we have these for the rear, which we get later too. Now I have these things. If you've never used this, you never known real fear. What it does basically, you put it on your springs like this, and then you start winding them up so they compress your spring, so there's no tension on this. Because if you have a lowered car with lowered springs or whatever, there's not really that much tension on this, depending on how your preload is set, of course. But usually when you take springs off and put lower springs on, then if you want to put them on, you can just apply pressure by hand or just by leaning on it, and it will have enough room here to wind your nut on. Problem is with these, and especially I reckon with the Volvo, because it's a heavy car, these are heavy springs, and especially with originals there's a lot of preload. If I would just wind this one off, there's a good chance that this will make a big hole in the wall and this will fly somewhere else, and I don't want any suspension parts in my face. So this is what compresses the spring. I have another one here. Hopefully, yeah, that will fit on the other one if I extend it, like there, I think. Yeah, it will. So, then when you compress the spring fully, very careful, because if something slips off, there's so much force behind it. That's why I said you never know real fear unless you've used these once in your life. So I'm going to compress them, twist this off, and then when this is off, just take everything apart, and I will take the... No, hold on. I'm going to use my chest mount. So, now, I got this with the GoPro, never used it, so now I have my hands free. So we can start winding this shit up and see where it brings us. It's a pretty easy job, just a little bit time consuming. The thing is, I was trying to get this nut off. I was already getting somewhere, but because it's in the vise I cannot turn it any further. So I'll probably have to take this off and do this, and then hold it with a beaten lock, a 10 mil or something. Yes. I think it would be better if I do this on the ground, because now I'm certain that I'm not gonna ruin anything if it shoots off. I think I have it far enough in now, because this is all coming out of its seating position, and I don't really want to put any more pressure on it, because I just think it's... There's still a little bit of pressure. I don't know if you saw that, but I was able to turn it by hand, and I gave it like 2 flicks, and then it did cling. So let's not put any projectiles there. It might pop a little, but not hard. Whew. That is smooth. So now it's time to unwind the spring. Also, I took the spring off, which is then just loose when the top head is off, but I don't think you should be able to do this. It does come out, but not how it should. So that is the color you can tap off, as I told you about. So it turns out it's a 27, and I have that. It was just laying right there looking at me, which just makes life so much easier as that big stupid plier thing. So I need to take that one out. which might be a pain in the ass looking at it, because it's rusty as hell. As you can see, it's very rusty. So, WD-40. First, get everything out we can get now. Then let the WD-40 do the rest. You might need to let this sit for a little bit. Just soak it everywhere. And then I think I can use a screwdriver. No, where is my... I don't care about your screwdriver. Wait, let me... There it is. Even better. The ones you can hit without caring about them. Cause I don't know if that's an option to tap that out. Because otherwise I need to use something like this. And as you can see, it's not really the right size. Oh, but it is working though. Woohoo! It feels like such an accomplishment. Getting something out that appears to be like, oh, this is gonna be a tough one. But it didn't. Yeah. Woo. There's some pressure behind there. Monroe Sunset Truck. Oh, that is the top side. Yeah, they had to put this on because apparently there were people that did this and then they were like, I don't get it, and it goes through the bottom and you sent me the wrong parts. Then they called up, phoned them up and were like, hey, it's not fitting. And they were like, well, have you tried it the other way around? And then, hey, it works. I mean, why else would they put this on there? So this is promising. That color is different. The other one had just flat spots and this is just little grooves. So this will be one for the hammer, but I just think it's weird. It's a different one. Also, I might not get as lucky with this one as I was with the other one. So, oh god. Please tell me it isn't. Oh, I'm gonna punch myself in the fucking stomach with this point. Why do I do it? Should have a bigger one. That's what she said. Don't trust that. Also don't trust this. This one is used for hammering. It's a little bit more surface than just that edge. I'm afraid I'm gonna destroy the color. Because if it's not coming off, my screwdriver acts like a chisel and just completely destroys that color. Oh god. Now you know why I was so excited when the other one just came right off. Oh, it's evening by now, but my girlfriend came home. She was like, well, I need to do some groceries, and I was like, I was not getting this thing off, so I needed something else. So I went to the what is it, the hardware store, whatever you call it, and I bought myself a little torch. Now, for the people that don't know, a torch is used to get stuff off. How? Well, in this case, I heated up this outside ring. Because of the heat, it wants to expand. It's not a lot, but it's enough. So this gets a little bit more room in there. So it expands, and then I just, because as you can see, I was already eating away the material there and there. But I basically put the hammer in here, so I had my hands clear, and I just whacked that with a hammer a few times, and as you can see, it's now almost off. But at least it's loose, so you can take that one off, take the strut out, the shock absorber, because this one is fully shite. It just stays there, doesn't even come up. After that, I need to grind these plates off because they're in the way and they're rusty and crusty as heck. I don't need them. So I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow because it's already late and I'm just gonna hang out and chill. And then I'm probably gonna leave it at that, and then I'm just gonna clean this up tomorrow and then make it all ready for welding. And probably tomorrow I'm gonna go to Thomas and weld them in, so everything is ready to go back in assembling. Also, with the new shock absorbers, I got a new little bushing, the locker ring that goes on here that's a little bit destroyed. I got a new one, so that's gonna go in. And then, well, you will see that eventually, but for now I'm gonna take this up tomorrow. So the last bit I showed you guys, I was able to get this off and spun the new one back in with a little bit of copper grease, so it's all nice and greased up. This, I have cleaned this part because this is where we're basically gonna cut it. As the manual instructed, they welded it on, or they cut it on 27 centimeters. This is around roughly here. Then you have enough room here to weld, and you have more chance of it being straight. Also, a good technique that they gave me in that thing is like a hose clamp. So you mark a line 27 from this side, that side. You put a hose clamp around it, and then you'll know you can draw a line around that. But then you know you have a straight cut all around. Wait, hold on. That's better. And you have a straight cut all around, because that's basically what you want, right? Because if this cut is not straight, then it will not sit straight, and you know what happens. So that one is done. Now line it up. I still need to, I forgot to make those lines on where it sits, but we have the other one, so we exactly know where it is because there I did it. So now I'm just gonna do those lines, clean off this little edge, make that little like V shape, and then with the other disc, and then we pretty much ready to weld. And then we assemble it back in again. I got some brake discs there for the Volvo that I haven't used yet, because the front ones were still good, but I'm not gonna hassle with changing the discs and everything. I just have discs and pads. I'm just gonna slap it on here, so it'll be just a direct swap and fit. So now what we're doing is we're gonna cut this one as well, and then we can make these fit. So as you can see, they go completely flush there. We make a little edge, same as this has. I don't know if that really shows up. This little edge, we're gonna make it onto there as well, so you have a little V groove that then will be better to penetrate if you're welding it. Then when that is on, that one goes in, and That's basically the extra length, same as that you're adding, so the shock will still do its job. So, cutting that, and then move over to Thomas's house, because he has a welder, and I don't. Back in the shed, trying to line it up. It's a bit tough when you don't have a tube that is fully same size, but this looks more like it. Has the same clearance all around and the same play. So
hope you got them hands.
this one? No. What are you doing to my, what are you doing with my shaft?
Anything with the shaft.
Come on. You do it then. I'm not a lefty.
There's a tripod on the camera.
I know.
And you're holding it by the tripod.
Yeah, because there's nothing to set it on. Look, this is no angle.
Set it up everywhere on the bench.
True. But since there's only one person that can weld, or do you need assistance? Then it's better to get the good camera angles. So the hard bit is done. It's straight on, at least as straight as we can get it.
Straight enough.
Straight enough. So now all we need to do is just continue up filling that little gap, groove. Get your groove on. And then number 2, and then everything is pretty much prepped for the lift kit.
Yeah, good enough.
Expected to fuck off, but
You can't always get what you want.
I accept that as a good weld.
I can't see shit.
How's it inside the tube? Good.
There's one ring. Good.
It looks smooth. Should be able to go in.
She said.
That's also what she said. See
Looks
anything?
good enough.
Yep. You guys can see it, but we saw it. As long as the shock absorber fits. But looking at this, Thomas, how much easier is it to lift a Volvo than a CRV? Or your aero deck? I mean, you were like, oh yeah, let's lift that sucker.
Depends. I do, because now I saw that in America they have the company HRG. They have lift kits for many types of Hondas, also CRVs.
Aero decks.
And Aerodeck, Civics.
Yeah, I said
whatever.
CRV, but you had an aero deck that you wanted to lift.
Yeah, an Aerodeck, Civic Aerodeck, but and they just like have these tubes and they weld on the plates on both sides, and that's just on top of your strut.
Just top head extender.
Yeah, it's like a top hat extender.
Same idea.
There's
Because at the beginning we were talking about swapping our CRV
like
subframe and everything.
From 1.5 inch to like 3 or 4 inch lift they have, and then you don't have to do anything else with the.
Yeah, well, this is the same 3-inch.
Well, with the larger one, I don't know exactly, but still.
But like at the beginning we were talking about changing out subframes of a CRV because it's.
Oh yeah.
They say it bolts up, but you know how it is. It never bolts up. And then looking at how this is done, this is the only thing you need to do. So you just cut your struts.
Yeah.
and then you just
So
weld in this, and then
so
on
much
the
better.
rear you just have a little extension plate you put
Yeah.
between the spring, and one for the front for the sway bar, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, this is.
And big tires, of course. You win a lot of centimeters with that.
I like this,
Inches.
this method a lot better.
Ideas?
Ideas? Maybe. But I want to get my Beamer game up. I want to go street drifting.
You guys hear that? He wants to get into drifting.
Yeah, I want to go in drifting, but... So if anybody wants to buy a Honda Civic Aero Deck, 1.5 feet deck,
It's the eco. It's the
It's
cheap version, the economical version.
You can drive like 118 or 120 on a good day.
So it's a good commuter car.
Yeah, it's a good car just for dating around and hauling shit.
So you heard it. If anyone wants to trade a E36 for a Civic, or just wants to buy a Civic, no MOT at the moment. But that will be fixed if you want to. Help this man get this drifting game up. It looks good, man. Solid weld. Don't even have to really grind it up. Just paint and done.
I know they have to grind it up for YouTube.
Exactly. 720p incoming. Alright. We're just gonna finish this one up, and then I'll see you guys back home when we're ready for installing. And I think Thomas will be there as well, so
We'll see.
on to the next clip. Luckily, today is a sunny day. I got all the other parts here and just painted them. Those are done and ready to go on, basically. Yeah, okay, the struts and the springs and everything, but like it's painted and welded, and so I can assemble that. As soon as that is done, together with these, they can all go in the Volvo. And I have a little bit over an hour left till my girlfriend comes home, and then I'll be able to install this. So let's go. And of course, paint the other side a little bit, because I haven't done that yet. Thomas started lifting the Volvo. Yep. Because that's what this video was about. And we're gonna put a spacer in between there. New shocking. It sounds shocking, but it isn't. And then the fronts. So we were looking for the top bolts for the struts of the, was it the shocks? Turns out there's a little rubber in here that is sealed with this, so it almost looks fully the same. But I saw a little edge and I pushed it. It was like, hey, that's rubber, so that was the bolt. So we're gonna take this whole shock out, and we already took this bolt out, which is like, it's bolted in the body, and then it has a like a nut on it, but it's so rusted that the whole thing came out, which is ideal because there's a whole bolt going in there with a spacer in between. What?
It's called a stud.
A stud. Ah, whatever. So far everyone always understood me. At least that's what I like to think. So
everybody understood.
it's loose there, and the whole shock absorber is loose. So now we're gonna lower the jack so the whole axle comes down, not too far because we have brake lines to worry about. And then should give us the space to put these in together with the new shocks. What's the best idea? Oh, this shock is blown. This is just a well, you can place it wherever you like, but it just stays there and just goes down, and this is gonna feel so much better.
Oh man, this shock is also fucked up, though.
Before you take the ribbon off the shock, put it in.
Yeah.
Before it goes out and it's hard to push back. So we struggled a little bit with the time.
Oh my god. A little bit?
A little bit.
Fuck's say.
But the fronts, the springs are on. Well, not on the car, but like on the struts. We did the rear. As you can see, there is a big spacer between the spring and the. Wow! We clamped a little hose clamp around it to make sure the spring will stay seated there, because there's a lot more tension. But it's lifted at the front with the wheels off the ground, but the rear isn't. So that already looks very good. And also with the old shocks, because we put new shocks in. These were fucked. Just push them in like that. That's not normal. So it's a lot already a better ride quality in terms of stiffness, but I think the front's gonna make all the difference. But it's almost dinner time, so we're gonna light up the barbecue and finish this after we've eaten, because we need some food first. We're getting grumpy. It took too long for some stupid reason, but we will finish this. So it is on. Did you look at the clearance? The only thing is, it looks like it leans back a little bit, but I'm first gonna drive it, because maybe the springs or whatever, something should settle, and then hopefully it'd be a little bit better. But and also the steering rods, the tie rod ends, as you can see there, they're sort of hitting the sway bar, and I think if I steer more, it's only getting worse, because I don't know. So hopefully they flex in a bit. As you can see, I got the brand new brakes and pads, everything in it. Those bushings that should be there, but I don't know. I'm thinking if you lengthen them there on the little thing there, that will be way better. But hey, I'm not a fabricator. But looking at this, I'm very pleased with the ride height. And also I'm gonna add some bigger tires. Also, one spring was a little bit fucked at the rear. So maybe if I put a set of new rear springs in, you might be lucky that it just goes up that little bit more. But it's not gonna be that much because of the, was it brake line? It has some room to go, but this is how I showed you guys the extra extension. Where is it there? Over there, yeah. And then with the spring. So we just need a little test drive now. So we are taking the dog out because it is done. And we're gonna go to the woods, to the forest, see if there's some nice trails. Not to go too crazy, I mean it's rear-wheel drive open diff. Also, by doing a little ride along and hitting a little extra bump, the fronts lowered, because it was squatting down at the rear for some reason, and now it's just fully same height. Not same lowness, it's the same height. And I'll probably, like he did, maybe or trim that bumper lip, or put the other bumper on, the old model, and in the rear maybe trim something. But so anyways, let's try it out. Dog was barely able to jump in. It's an easy get in and out now though. Very good. Are you happy, bub? Can't wait for the big wheels. So, on that note, I want to thank each and everyone for watching. Please smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.